Hey everyone, I'm Starcraft Dad, and today I'll be casting a 1 versus 1 between CuePhoenix playing Terran in the red and CoolGUY playing Zerg in the blue on the map Antiga Shipyard. So this is a new map in Season 3, and this is CuePhoenix's first game playing in Season 3. This is his qualifier game, so we'll see how he does. His record versus Zerg from Season 2 was 8 wins and 1 loss, his loss being in the qualifier. Let's see if he's going to repeat that today. Both players building workers, mining minerals. CuePhoenix going off to build his starting supply depot up in the front to make a wall. Typical starter versus Zerg in case they do some kind of early Zergling attack on the front door. CoolGUY slowly sending his overlord across the map. So Antiga Shipyard is a 4-player map. You can see the players' 2 spawning positions. CoolGUY down here in the lower right, and CuePhoenix here on the left. So each player has a starting base with a little bit of hiding smoke in the back that you gotta watch out for. Nice little ramp leading down to your first expansion here. This expansion's entryway is guarded by this big ramp over here, and a lot of open space in the back, so a lot of room for drop harass, banshee harass, etc. A lot of open space in this map. It's a macro map. CuePhoenix setting his SCV out, looking for trouble, looking to find CoolGUY's base. CoolGUY, of course, already knows about CuePhoenix's base. He's sending this. His scouting overlord finally made it over to this near position. You can see CuePhoenix is building his double barrack wall, so it's going to be a little bit harder to break in. But this supply depot is always the weak link in the Terran wall. CoolGUY going for a expand, which is pretty typical for non-newbie Zergs. So Zerg like to be a couple of bases up on their opponents, so this Zerg has 2 bases going, which is great for him. Notice he hasn't built a spawning pool yet. Oh, there comes a spawning pool. No, maybe not. Maybe he is. Okay, there he goes. CoolGUY building a spawning pool. Got overlords spread around the map, trying to get good vision of what's going on. For some reason, decided to leave his drone out here. Maybe some insurance, not sure. CuePhoenix going to send in his scouting SCV, and we'll get to see what he can see. He's just going to hang out here at the front door. Not sure if he realizes what's going on. I think CuePhoenix is focused on trying to chase this overlord out. CuePhoenix keeping up on spending his money down at 60, upgrading to an orbital command. And this SCV just hanging out here, not sure CuePhoenix is really paying attention to him or sees what's going on. Spawning pool about to come up. This SCV is going to get some Zergling harass if he's not careful. Oh, there he goes, he's moving around. Let's see what he can see. So CuePhoenix looks like he sees the spawning pool, sees the hatchery, and is going down here to check out, see what's going on, make sure he's going to scout out the space. He was a little slow on that. You can see CuePhoenix behind in supply now, 18 to CoolGUY's 21. This SCV coming around, and looks like he's going to be able to see this second base and see that it has just a few workers. So CuePhoenix should have a good idea that his opponent has expanded in the typical Zerg fashion. So now we're looking at 2 base Zerg versus 1 base Terran. CuePhoenix falling way behind on his mineral spending, building a factory, and looks like he's building 2 Marines at a time out of these 2 barracks. We'll see how that does. CoolGUY building a bunch of drones, droning up, a couple of spine crawlers down here after he saw that scouting SCV, a couple of spine crawlers to try to prevent harass coming into the base. He's got a nice little kind of semi-wall here between his spine crawlers and this hatchery, so he should be able to fend off anything that CuePhoenix throws up. CoolGUY with a couple of Zerglings back here, and an overlord there. So as he's spreading out overlords, trying to make sure he's not going to be surprised by any kind of harass coming from CuePhoenix. Banshees, medevac drops, probably medevac drops at this point, but he doesn't realize, of course, that CuePhoenix is way behind, and he's just now building his starport. So CuePhoenix trying to get back into the macro game, building a barracks, building a starport, working on his factory. Looks like he may be doing some kind of siege tech, or maybe he'll be using this tech lab to attach to his starport to make banshees. But we'll just see how that goes on. 2 harvesters on this refinery and 2 on here, so CuePhoenix just doing a little bit of gas. He should probably ramp that up a little bit if he's going to go so tech heavy with this factory and this starport. But Yeah, he could be doing a lot more now. Okay, building a starport. He really needs to go ahead and start to expand. Otherwise, he's going to fall pretty far behind. The Zerg left to themselves to macro away. You can see CoolGUY. Wow, he is up at over 1,000 minerals. At this point, he could build a ton of overlords, build a ton of Zerglings, and cause serious damage against CuePhoenix. He's only got this small squad of Marines up at the front. Looks like CuePhoenix is going for Banshees, setting down this starport on this tech lab, and it looks like he's apparently either building another tech lab for this starport or going for siege tanks as well. Got a bunch of SCVs just hanging out. His macro is not too sharp for this qualifier, and CoolGUY with a small squad of Zerglings hanging out here at the Zelnok Tower. Most of the action is going to be down here, down these alleyways through this natural with the gold rocks here. But this Overlord's got a good view of that, and he's got an Overlord down here to look for drops sneaking around the edge, and an Overlord down here. So CoolGUY has a pretty good set of map vision here. We can check his vision out. If you look down on the mini-map, he can see quite a bit of the map, so he's trying to defend himself, which is very good. He's got a ton of minerals. He could probably expand and continue to drone up. If we look here, he's building a double evolution chamber. This is a really good idea for Zerg. The Zerg strategy these days, the metagame, is to drone away, get a lot of money banked up, and then when the opponent attacks or when they start coming for you, you then build a ton of units that are an appropriate counter to what's being sent towards you. So it shouldn't be surprising that if we look at the army count, we can see that CoolGUY has a lot of worker supply. Actually, he's really ahead of CuePhoenix. This is going to be trouble for CuePhoenix. And army supply is he's lower, but that's fine. Because what should happen, or what he should be prepared for, is to swing that army supply way back once he gets an idea of what CuePhoenix is doing, or once he doesn't attack. So CuePhoenix looks like he's just got stuff sitting around up here. Looks like he's getting all ready to build some Banshees, but he's not doing anything with that. Plenty of supplies, not supply blocked, a couple of SCVs sitting around. It looks like he built a command center that's finished. Not much going around there either, so this is pretty curious. CuePhoenix just hanging out, low on supply. CoolGUY, lots of money. He could probably build a bunch of Zerglings and just smash CuePhoenix right now. Not even using these evolution chambers to do upgrades. So CoolGUY kind of falling behind on his macro. If he would have kept up with that, he would be in excellent shape to take CuePhoenix out right now, right at this moment. Looking at the units tab, CuePhoenix only has 1 tank and 16 Marines, only 18 SCVs. Folks, this looks like a pretty one-sided game, just waiting for the hammer to fall. CuePhoenix upgrading to an orbital command here, and now finally starting to build some Banshees. So it looks like we're going to see some Banshee play. Will that be enough to save him? I really don't think so. I'm surprised CoolGUY isn't upgrading to Banelings. Let's look at his vision and see what he can see over here in CuePhoenix's camp. Well, you can see quite a bit. Ooh, looky there. He's got a little changeling guy. So this is a Zerg unit that looks like Terran units. So he looks like a Marine here. So he can see everything. He can see the move out. He can see that CuePhoenix is expanding. He can see the Banshees being built. He can probably even see where they're routed when they pop out. So CoolGUY just having a command of this game. CuePhoenix is really just letting him do that all by himself. A massive number of Zerglings up here, and going for his 3rd expansion. So CoolGUY really on top of his game. I think he's really going to come in here and do some massive damage. Finally building those upgrades off the Evo chamber, off these 2 evolution chambers. Going for melee attack, and for ground carapace, that's ground armor level 1. Building a spire, gonna go for some Mutalist harass, which is excellent for Zerg, excellent on this map, a very large map. As soon as CuePhoenix starts expanding to these 2 bases, he's gonna have to cover 2 bases at once. He's got this pretty fledgling force of Marines just all spread out, and CoolGUY's really doing well at this point, but he just needs to come in and start doing some damage. You know, his strength, his advantage will be that he's got 1, and then now 2, and 3, and then up here 4 hatcheries. So at a minimum, he can be making 12 units at a time, but if he gets queens on all of these, especially this macro hatchery here, he can make 16 units at a time. Actually, that's not true. 28. And since Zerglings come in pairs, that would be 56. Wow. So he could send in this whole group. He's got tons of money banked up and resupply almost immediately. The longer he waits, the more this Terran is going to get turtled up inside of his base, and he's going to start to catch up in the macro game. But you know, Terran 2 base to Zerg 3, still looks like it's going to be a pretty one-sided event here. Now, these Banshees could be causing him a problem. If we look over here, CuePhoenix did research the cloak ability. We can go back up here. These guys are the cloak ability. Okay, here we go. Here's some of these grass base. These missile turrets are already up. Looks like CuePhoenix is making no attempt to attack these minerals or defend this missile turret, which seems like a pretty big mistake. His Marines don't have any upgrades on them. You can see that these barracks, we've had a tech lab here for a while, but no upgrades on that. So these mutalisks going to come up here and do some harassment down on this base, killing a whole ton of stuff, just annihilating these workers. CuePhoenix trying to pull these away, but this is really bad when he's down on supply. These mutalisks are just basically uncontested. Just a couple of Marines are doing some damage, but now joining with another mutalisk. Pick up that SCV? Yeah, there you go. And you can see these Banshees heading off, so yeah, I'm surprised these Zerglings didn't come in at the same time. That would have done some pretty serious damage. Look here at the units killed tab. He's killed only 7 workers. That's amazing. I would have expected a lot more from that attack.